In today's video, the following top 5 list explores some of the most notorious serial killers the world has ever known. Number 5. Pedro Lopez, one of the world's most prolific serial killers. Pedro Lopez is linked to more than 300 murders in native Colombia and in Ecuador and Peru. At least one-third of the murders were tribal women. After Lopez's arrest in 1980, police found graves of more than 50 of his preteen victims. He was later convicted of murdering 110 girls in Ecuador and confessed to more than 240 more murders in Colombia and Peru. The monster of Andes didn't even spend 20 years in prison as he was released in 1998 for good behavior. More than 20 years since, his whereabouts remain unknown. Scary, isn't it? Number 4. Harold Shipman. Harold Shipman, also known as Dr. Death, is believed to have killed at least 218 of his patients, although his total is most likely closer to 250. This doctor practiced in London between 1972 and 1998 and worked in 2 different offices, killing all the while. He wasn't caught until a red flag was raised by several people, including an undertaker who was surprised by the sheer number of cremation certificates Shipman was a part of, along with the fact that most of his cases were elderly women found to have died in their beds, not at night, but rather during the day. Police mishandled the investigation, and Shipman kept killing until he got greedy and tried to concoct a will for a victim that named him beneficiary, which led to the victim's daughter to become suspicious. He was finally convicted in 2000 and committed suicide while in prison in 2004. Number 3. BTK. BTK, or formerly known as Dennis Rader, tormented his Kansas community with a string of murders and taunted the police who could not solve his crimes. But he blew his own cover through an insatiable desire for attention. Dennis Rader, who took the lives of 10 innocent people in Wichita, Kansas, as the BTK killer, seemingly had his twisted modus operandi, bind, torture, kill, figured out to the T. A family man, government worker, and church leader by day, Rader was smart enough to blend in with his community and avoid detection for the string of victim stalking and killings that fulfilled his sexual desires. And while he relished the headlines that announced his grotesque acts and the taunting messages he relayed to the media, he also controlled his impulses enough to suddenly stop the killings and disappear before authorities could get too close to his trail. Yet, it was his insatiable lust for attention that ultimately proved to be his Achilles heel. BTK re-emerged years later to remind police that he remained at large, but got too careless with his cat and mouse games, providing investigators with an opening to crack the once unsolvable case and bring the killer to justice. He eventually pled guilty to 10 counts of first-degree murder and was sentenced to 10 consecutive life sentences with a minimum of 175 years without parole. Number 2. Ted Bundy. Ted loved the attention his murders garnered him, and many were more than happy to give him that attention. With his undeniable charm and his tan beetle, he turned the western US into his hunting ground with an unknown number of murders piling up, mostly college-age women from Washington, Oregon, and all the way up to Utah and Colorado. Ironically, Bundy was once arrested in Colorado and convicted of kidnapping, but he escaped custody, moving to Florida, where he killed multiple more times. Bundy's final arrest and its aftermath captured the attention of the nation as the accused murderer acted as his own lawyer in what is to believed to be the first televised murder trial, where Ted welcomed interviews and actually boasted of the fans he had created. He was eventually executed in an electric chair in 1989. Shocking, hey? In our number one spot today, we have none other than John Wayne Gacy, a construction worker known by his suburban neighbors as outgoing John Wayne Gacy, was involved in politics and even acted as a clown for birthday parties. Yes, a clown. But John was no ordinary clown. Gacy became under suspicion in 1978 when a 15-year-old boy last seen with him went missing. That, however, wasn't the only time families of missing boys had pointed fingers at Gacy, but it was the first time authorities took them seriously. Soon after, a search warrant granted police access to the Gacy home, with the smell of nearly 30 bodies buried in a 4-foot crawl space under his home. He was convicted of 33 counts of murder, with additional counts of rape and torture, and was executed by lethal injection in 1994. Heinous, isn't it? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our top 5 videos. Hope to see you soon.